Did it again. I unmuted myself. Welcome, Hoosier Nation, to another victorious edition of Hoosier Morning After. This is Hoosier Morning After Merrimack. Yesterday afternoon, your Hoosiers go on to defeat Merrimack 81-49 in a game that at halftime, IU was leading just 36-30. I think IU came out at the beginning of the game with a little too much intensity on defense, a little too much help side defense, scrambling to guys, letting guys get open for three on Merrimack. I think that's partially that aggressiveness, probably fired home after the Wisconsin loss, wanting to come back with some intensity and everything. And then also, I think partially a shortened scouting of Merrimack not being all that great from three. So they allowed a little bit more of that shooting, and Merrimack just luckily got hot and to some degree in that. But second half offense just kind of settled down. Didn't give into the zone that Merrimack was showing for them, and just try to shoot threes, try to shoot your way out of the zone like that. So some great numbers to finish the game: 51%, just shy of 52% from the field, and 31.3 from three. Second half helped out what the first half maybe lacked a little bit as far as shooting and making going 53.6% from the field and 33.3 from three in the second half. So definitely a slightly better second half offensively. Again, I enjoyed that they settled down and ran their offense a little bit more and did what they needed to do on their side to get the game going and win it. So that was really good to see. Really, this game overall, and here we go, guys. Those who've listened, broken record, Chad coming in. Very important game schedule-wise to have a Wisconsin game that was tough and have a game to be able to come home, a game that you're confident you can win, but you don't want to coast through or make mistakes that too often teams will, thinking they have a cakewalk. But just important to see them get after it. Guys that maybe had less than perfect games against Wisconsin gives them a chance to find some rhythm, find some confidence back, and maybe make up for some mistakes that they had in the previous game. One of the bigger ones, bounce back wise, that I kind of saw with this game was Trace Jackson Davis. Felt like in the Wisconsin game, he kind of lacked the usual fire that we see out of him, that intensity and everything. And it was back in this game. He wasn't on his usual scoring tear, but I liked his aggressiveness. He finished 5 for 10 from the field. And hallelujah, guys! If I had the drop or the soundtrack sound to be able to play, but hallelujah, 6 for 6 for free throws for him in the 24 minutes that he played. So that was good to see too. That he got some meaningful minutes in the game, but coach didn't overplay him, allowing him to get some rest and everything. Also great. Then we got a whole week here before our next game, so he'll have a week to rest as well. So get some good minutes in, get some good playing time, but then allow him to get some rest and relaxation. But he was really dominant underneath, and that's going to happen. Merrimack was undersized against IU. They were just athletically, IU's a lot better. So it was good to see IU take advantage of that in the zone and be, like I said, be patient, get it to Trace Jackson Davis and Race and any of the other big guys that were in there. And they were able to take care of things pretty well underneath in this game. Other guys that I think had good bounce backs from the Wisconsin game are point guards. X had a good game to rebound, settle himself, settle his emotions. Made some great decisions throughout the game and everything. Towards the second half, I think he shot a few threes that he maybe shouldn't have, but there was kind of a segment where Miller Kopp made a three, and then second time down the field or not too long after that, I can't remember exactly because I don't have my exact notes on this, but he had a decent look at the three, and instead he drew his guy over and made that one more pass to Miller Kopp, who had a better three look. And smart and disciplined of him to not take his shot, but to get it to the better shooter. That's what you want out of the point guard. And both him and Rob finished with 4 assists on the game. And they combined, that was half of the team's assists, eight assists for the team in the game yesterday. And um, good overall from Rob. It was nice to see X and Rob playing together. I do like those few minutes that we get to see those guys playing off each other, um, especially on a smaller lineup like this. I feel like that was one of the reasons why we got those two playing together. Um, it was a struggle for Parker Stewart to play in a game like this against a little bit smaller of a team. His guy was kind of driving on him, and I think that kind of frustrated him, led to him not having the best game overall for himself in that. But it was great to see what he could do um, by putting both of those guys, what the coaching staff could do, putting those two guys in together. X still kind of takes the lead, but the ball kind of moves well, and you get that added benefit of Rob's defense. Again, they're two very different players, and you're definitely going to see more of uh, Rob not being the same, but coming in more from a defensive standpoint for them. Um, Next person I want to talk about, though, is Race. Talking about the big guys taking over and everything. Race had a perfect game shooting from the field, 6 for 6, despite being actually out for most of the week's practice. I think I don't know if he practiced at all, but he had the flu evidently, and couldn't see it. Didn't see it now. He's obviously fully recovered from that. Didn't look lethargic. Didn't look tired from that. A lot of times when guys are sick for the week, they don't seem like they have their legs. They just seem a little sluggish, like they're in a quicksand. But I didn't see that from Race. He just looked very aggressive, and you saw some great replays that they showed of Race's ability to finish through contact. That was great to see. Didn't shoot it as great from the free throw when he got that chance, but really good to see him being aggressive out there and taking care of what he needed to. I mean, defense rebounding wise, IU had the huge margin for that one. 54 rebounds on this game. 36 of them were defensive rebounds. Now, that's kind of a little bit of an asterisk I want to put by those rebound numbers, because if you noticed watching the game, Merrimack would almost immediately get back on D after many of their shots went up. They obviously are very focused on their zone defense, so they were quick to want to get back and set up for that defense. Obviously, they've seen that's probably partially part of their film tape. Again, I obviously haven't seen any other Merrimack games. I'd be interested to see if that's a tactic they use all the time, or if that was maybe just something that they used against Indiana because they had seen tape on Indiana. No, we want to get out and run, and we want to go fast. So that might be a plan to slow us down and get things, get us just kind of playing more to their speed. Because obviously, you saw that on their offensive side, they were using a lot of times all of the shot clock that they could, and they really wanted to slow the game and make the game as slow as they could. Just try to slug it through and find the open pass and everything. Our bench, I think, had a pretty good game. Didn't really agree with the coaching staff having the full bench out there in the first half. That's more of kind of a second half when things are settled in a little bit more. Putting them all in together in the first half is a little bit of a struggle for me. They struggled a little bit, almost playing them even. I think letting them back in it just slightly in the first half. I'd prefer just a sprinkling of them, keeping a few starters in there with it. I guess he's trying some things with it, and that's a game that you can do that. But any other game, that's a little bit scary to me to go full bench unless your starters aren't producing. If your starters aren't producing, then I understand that makes sense to do something like that. But in a normal game, we'll kind of keep an eye on that kind of thing. But speaking of the bench, talking about those guys, Leal's doing a good job with the minutes he's getting. Um, and the great thing you're seeing on Twitter, you're doing a good job producing and doing things on the floor as a bench player when the discussion starts to come up on social media, on podcasts, on everything like that of why isn't he playing more? That just shows this guy is trying hard. He's in there playing, doing the right thing. He gets in the right position on offense. His defense has improved. I think we've seen his defense improving um, throughout the year as well. And yeah, I think he needs to. He's earned these minutes he's getting, and I think coach, you can tell, is more confident to put him in there and play him a few more minutes because he makes the right decisions and he puts himself in the right positions on offense to do things. And um, he, to me, should be the player that comes in for Miller Kopp. Um, I think to a degree, those players, those two are pretty interchangeable between Leal and Miller Kopp. You get a little bit more of the veteran in Miller Kopp. You get a little bit more of the uh, leader and overall decision making and pressure situations from Miller Kopp. And that's not taking anything away from Leal and what he does and what he knows as far as basketball. But I think that's why you see that situation. But yeah, Leal is fantastic coming off the bench. I like what he's producing. Hopefully it continues on as we see Trey come back in. I mean, Trey's going to take a little bit to get his feet again. There were reports that he was out there shooting a little bit. Obviously, he still has a cast on. He's not anywhere near game ready yet, but he's going to need some time to get back to game shape and game ready before he's going to be back in there. But good to see what he was able to produce for the team. And speaking with that, I am a big Jordan Geronimo fan club member. Carry that card in my wallet. Jordan, you need to come out with a little bit more merch. I'm ready for some Jordan merch. I need to add a sticker of yours to the wall back here. We need a Jordan Geronimo sticker. So anyways, really kind of a tale of two halves for him too. I mean, amazing what he did in the second half, getting in there for 13 minutes, going 4 for 6 from the field, 3 for 5 on his free throws, just 12 rebounds, being a monster there on the boards, only 1 turnover, 3 on the day for him. Really a great second half for him. Showed his athleticism. A team like this that's not as athletic and everything and long, that's where you're going to be able to do it. And I love his great comment in the post game was, God gave me this body to get rebounds, so I'm going to get rebounds or something like that. I'm obviously paraphrasing what he said, but great to see him again take advantage in the minutes that he got in there and finding his footing a little bit more because he's kind of been a non-factor in a couple of the games recently when he's gotten in there. When he can be that guy to come in tougher competition and impact the game in some way, whether it be on the stat sheet or off the stat sheet, he can be a guy that can come in and do some things for IU. So it's great to see him get in there and take care of it, take care of the ball, take care of the situation that he had. Equally, so nice, guys, not to have Bardo on this. Thank you, Big Ten. Thank you, Booker, whoever books the talent for the Big Ten. Settles was a breath of fresh air. I feel bad a little bit for any of the Merrimack fans that were watching in these types of mid-major games. That often happens where the bigger team kind of, the announcers are pretty homer for the one team. Settles definitely is. He said he even wants to coach it. Would love to coach at IU. It's the number one coaching job that he has. I'm not sure. Are Race and Trace roommates? Settles didn't really answer that for me. I'm joking, obviously, guys, because Settles said that about 6 or 7 times. But a little cringy with some of those comments from him. But it was great to have a different voice on there. Welcome you back, Settles. Anytime you want to be on the broadcast again, um, just probably have to watch it and not be as much of an IU fan as you appear to be in this game. But overall, a pretty good game. Like I said, the right game at the right time for this team. Schedule looks good. Having this week off before we have to go to Notre Dame, which Notre Dame obviously just knocked off Kentucky, proving once again that Calipari does not like, or continuing to make it that Calipari doesn't like Indiana, and how much he's never gonna. I don't think he's gonna cross the border after too long. He's not going to ever come and play in Indiana ever again in a couple of years. Getting onto Twitter, guys. Some of you guys commented every game or evening of the game. I will post out announcing that we'll have Hoosier Morning After the next morning, and follow me on Twitter at General Chadwick. When I make that announcement, post a comment or question. I'll bring it up on the game on the show and everything like that. First one's from Jay Schwer. I'm guessing it's Schwer, just Schwarzkopf, at Jess 8709. Why aren't they playing Christian Lander more? Christian Lander not playing more, I believe, is Coach Woody has said that he prioritizes defense. And X is obviously the leader. He plays great on defense, and he's a great facilitator on offense. He's got both sides. So then it becomes a question of Christian over Rob. And Rob plays better defense. Rob's a very good defensive player. And I think right there is why it is. Not to mean that Christian doesn't need to get a little bit of minutes in there, but just if his defense makes a little bit more of a jump, and maybe that's a jump that coach needs to see in the practices over what we see in the game or over getting him game time, Rob's going to be the one that's going to get that call. And Rob's going to eat up most of those minutes that Christian could maybe get. If Rob's struggling or anything like that, or there's foul trouble, then we'll see him more, obviously, like we did in the Syracuse game, him playing towards the end of the game and both overtimes. That was because obviously both Rob and X had fouled out in that game. But I think that's why we haven't seen him as much as we would want to. It'll come again. He's while he has been with the team a year, he's still just a freshman, and I do like what he does on offense. He still makes a few mistakes, and he could be the starter next year. But there are guys that could transfer in, and there could be guys that decide to stay. That's what's going to make it very interesting about this lineup, and it makes it really hard to try to analyze what the lineup is going to look like next year until we're in it, because no one's technically a true senior. At least I don't think. It's very confusing. Lots of guys can come back. Obviously, not a lot will. Trace will definitely be gone. Race, I think, is done. But beyond that, I can't say with 100% confidence anyone that is definitely gone. Those two are the only ones that I would be able to say comfortably with confidence that won't be on the roster next year. Obviously, there'll be other guys that won't be, but who that is, who knows? I couldn't say. Phil, his Twitter handle is at Phil_Hoosier fan, says Durr was saying he wasn't 100%. Any update? He's responding to the presser. I think was it before the Wisconsin or before this game? But he did the press conference before that, and he said that he wasn't at 100%. That he still got a lot more to show and be ready to see him and everything like that. And I could believe that. And I don't think that's, as far as asking for an update, I don't think there hasn't been an actual injury update for him. I don't have any insider information about he's got this that's nagging or anything like that. It could just be soreness. It could be that he's just saying 100% that he doesn't feel like he's 100% in game um, conditioning and up to game speed that he would like to be. And we've seen great flashes from him. And if he doesn't think he's all the way there, does that mean his confidence isn't always there, all the way there? And will his confidence just get a little bit better? But I like what I see from him. I like his movement with the ball. Wisconsin, obviously, he had that horrible call of travel towards the end of the game. Those 2 points would have been great to have back. But we're going to see a lot more minutes in games, like especially against Illinois, when we need to spell him against big guys, against Purdue, when they played their big guys. I like his game. I like that he's not fearful about hitting those longer shots, and he can hit those shots. We've seen it in his IU uniform, and if you look back at any of his Florida highlights, he's done it in that uniform as well. So I like what he does. I like his movement for a big guy. I like his size and his aggressiveness, and I'm excited to see what he continues to do. And he's another one there, like I just said. I don't know who's going to be back and who's not. He's got another year if he wants to play as well. And most likely as well has a starting position waiting for him next year when Trace moves on to the NBA. So I'm excited to see what comes out of him this year, and excited for that to carry over into next year because it's only going to get better from him. And can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see what he brings to this team moving forward this year and into next year. Obviously, I just stated that next game up is going to be Notre Dame. I don't have too much of a scouting report for them, so I couldn't say exactly what we're looking at with them. Obviously, they're coming from some fire, even just beating Kentucky and everything. They probably have a game this week. I haven't looked at their schedule yet, but IU plays them on December 18th. That's Saturday at 2:30 p.m. Be great to game for them to get a good quality non-conference win. Again, obviously, the Notre Dame stock goes up beating Kentucky, and you want to beat teams like this, and then you want to cheer for them the rest of the year to do really good things because that just makes the win that much better. But love the scheduling of it because now they've got the week to get settled down, figure some things out, do some good scouting, rest some guys, and get ready for this game. So very excited to see that. And yeah, I'll be there with you right after that game on Sunday to talk about it. So that'll do it for this edition of Hoosier Morning After. Thanks for watching, guys, and listening, those that are listening on podcast apps. Remember to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also follow me on Twitter at General Chadwick. There you can find out information about the show, when we're going to go live, and to leave your comment and question that I will bring up on the show. Special thanks to Bob Thompson for producing the music you hear on the show. We'll be back again on Sunday. Until then, guys, go out there, have a wonderful day. And as always, go Hoosiers.